In this video, we're going to talk and discuss a possible way how to stop getting around on the ball to create a better direction when you swing, and also how to stop just pretty much swinging the bat going down and across of the strike zone. The first thing that we have to understand that I always repeat to the players who I work with and my coaches back when I was with the Royals and Giants used to tell me the same thing. Your swing is the byproduct of the way how you control your body. So when we often try to work with our bat path, either because you're just swinging and you're just working down and across of the strike zone and you're hitting everything into the ground and hitting ground balls or weak ground balls into the bullseye, it's mainly because you're either not creating a good posture for your body and you also don't have a good understanding of how to utilize your lower half, especially to be able to deliver the barrel to the bigger part of the field. So in this video, I'm gonna show you my main 3 drills that I often work with the guys inside of my program to fix that issue that they have with swinging down and across the strike zone and hitting the ball into the bullseye with like a quick ground ball and creating a lot of topspin, and find that consistency to get on plane and create backspin and being able to use the whole field and hit for this and be more consistent with that part of your swing. Let's start with building a routine even before you start swinging the bat. This is something that we have to make sure that we find. We call it some type of system. I like to call it a system because it helped me to stop guessing and know exactly what I'm going to do when I'm trying to work something in a specific with my swing, especially because there's so many drills that you can do out there and social media and seeing a ton of results for a lot of guys out there, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to work for you. So I'm just going to show you the one that I did to make sure that you at least have the foundation and the idea and the reason why we need to start building a system, a routine to follow, especially during the season when you guys are going back to school and it's going to be a lot of time constraints. So you guys need to know what to do even before you get into the cage, even before you start swinging the bat. First of all, my favorite drill to start warming up with the way how I create direction, especially with my upper half, is to start with my feet this wide and grab the bat from each end and then just start working with my bat going back and then forward. I'm gonna keep my heels staggered into the ground. This is gonna help me to feel the way how my upper half is rotating against my lower half, but also creating some sort of linear type of move instead of just like spinning east to west with my upper half, either because I'm yanking from my lower half or because I'm trying to just push off the ground. That's the main reason why stabilizing the lower half is the main and most important thing that I try to work with my guys, and I try to work back in the day with my swing, especially because I was a switch hitter and I wanted to make sure that my lower half on both sides of the plate was stable, so I was more consistently repeating the same swing and create that adjustability that we're looking for. So you can start with that. Some of the guys like to also work with a PVC pipe and then just start creating some sort of like putting the PVC pipe in between their arms and they just start working from the launch position. They just rotate and they just work with that tilt. That's a sign that you're putting pressure into the ground and you're creating a better angle, especially when you upper half, to have enough space to be able to deliver the barrel into the bigger part of the field. That's some sort of routines that you can do even before you swing the bat. Another one that I like to work too is when single legs swings. Athletes, we often create patterns. We have to create patterns, and when we compete in the game, when we're going back into the field, we create so many moves with one single leg. So you have to understand that each leg is supposed to create force, and then if you want to be stable, to create a linear move, either when you throw a baseball, when you swing the bat, and you don't want to work in that direction, that you just work in east to west like this, and you just want to make sure that you throw a ball straight to the base. And when you swing and deliver the barrel to the bigger part of the field up the middle from where the ball is coming from, creating these fields either in the on deck or when you come into a cage to have an idea of how each leg is supposed to work and feel. My favorite one, or the one that I start working with high school and college athletes, is to make sure that they take some swings with the back leg. You don't have to necessarily swing the bat. The main reason why I don't like to start with the bat is because as soon as you guys take a bat in between your hands and you guys going back to the old habits, so you can put the bat down, you can grab a water tank, and you can start working with that single leg that's gonna look something like this. You can just start working with one step forward and just rotating when you upper half, feeling how your upper half is rotating against your lower half. This is what we call torque, feeling how you're rotating from the middle part of your body, so it's so much easier to rotate and create a better direction when you're swinging the bat. The other one that you can do too as well is some front leg swings too as well. You don't need the bat. It's just about to just it's some sort of routine. Feel how your body's supposed to work. In this instance, I'm gonna use the bat. You can just use your bottom hand and just working with the front leg and staggering to the ground. That front foot is not moving, and then you just work taking that back foot behind yourself and rotating when you're or swinging when your lead arm going up to the middle, feeling how you're using that front leg to stay close and let the upper half pretty much feel like you wanna rotate into the opposite direction that your lower half. You wanna feel pretty much that your shirt is going forward like this and your pants are pulling into the opposite direction. The only way how we possible can create this type of movement, this type of patterns, is when the lower half is stable. This is some ideas and some of the things that I did to work with some sort of prep work. Even before I start swinging the bat, let's go now into the hitting drills. For the hitting drills, the main drill that I often want to make sure that my hitters have when they working with a problem that they have with working down and across when they're swing is to make sure that the lower half is staggering to the ground. And I like to work with these 45 degrees open swing. You want to start when your feet facing at the second base in case you're a right-handed hitter, and you want to keep your lower half and your feet staggering to the ground. They're not going to move. You just want to work with feeling how you coil, putting pressure into the ground, and then when you swing, you want to feel that you want to deliver the barrel and keep it in between these two white lines. These two white lines are essential to have a guide to know where you're going to swing and where you want to follow that direction as long as possible, entering those two white lines as soon as possible and staying on those two white lines as long as possible to be able to have some sort of adjustability and have a bigger window for error instead of you're late in the zone or early when you're reaching some curveballs or even some fastball up front, but your barrel is literally just going in and out of the strike zone, so you don't have any way how to adjust to to a pitch. You're going to be early, and you don't have that sort of like direction when you're delivering the barrel. So that really want to look something like this. You want to start when your feet and your toes facing at the second baseman in case you're a right-handed hitter. Try to focus to hit the ball right center. And I personally like to work with a lot of three-quarter swings just to work on how to brace and work on your brakes to to enhance and boost that whip in your swing to be able to deliver the barrel and let the bat gain speed from the way how I rotate with my lower half and my upper half and transfer that force back into the baseball instead of just feeling like I'm over rotating, pulling with my front side, which that's essentially one of the main reasons why you guys are typically working down and across of the strike zone and hitting the ball to the third base or to the pull side with a lot of top spin. So it's gonna look something like this. Make sure that you keep your chin connected to your back shoulder, somewhere around 60 or 75% is going to be enough just to make sure that you work in a good direction when you're swinging the bat. The other drill that I like to work with, it's close stance. When you start pretty much with a split stance like this and you want to work against that front side, which is going to help you to let the bat move and deliver the barrel into the bigger part of the field, just because you're stabilizing and you're rotating against that front leg, and it's a lot easier to let the bat go forward instead of just like giving up on the front side and just start just going like this and start dragging everything into the strike zone, because your hips are still gaining speed instead of losing speed while you're swinging. That's another topic that we can cover in a different video, how your swing sequence is supposed to look like. But long story short, at the end of your swing, your hips should be losing speed so the bat can outrace your body and being able to like follow a good direction and deliver the barrel into the bigger part of the field. And the drills want to look something like this, kind of in a split stance like this. Start to work middle away, and then feel how when you swing, you want to put pressure, right? Feeling that your forehead is going to finish above your toes, and you just want to finish with a 3/4 finish too, as well with a 3/4 swing, just to make sure that you just work in a good direction and you're just trying to swing in between 60 or 75%. As you can see, the main reason why I like to stabilize the lower half is because it's so much easier for me to repeat the same rotation, the same swing that I create with my upper half and deliver the barrel to the right direction. And the next drill is the one that I like to use 2 tees in case that you're hitting off a tee, or if you're hitting front toss or overhand from your regular batting practice, is to have a tee in front of your front foot. For this instance, I'm going to use 2 because I'm hitting off a tee. I like to do it from my launch position, and essentially what I'm trying to work is like when I swing, I want to get a contact and follow through, finishing slightly up, working to the baseball. What I often see from guys who are working down and across when they're swinging is because when they swing, they go here and start going down and across like that. So this is going to be a good way how to get feedback on like the way how you're swinging, and if you're trying to work in a good direction. Again, the way how you're working down and across from the strike zone when you're swinging can come from a few different reasons, but this is what I mainly see guys in the high school and college level struggle with. They just want to look something like this. You want to start with your front foot just in front of the front tee, and when you swing, you want to make sure that when you get a contact, you finish slightly up above of that tee. 60 to 75% is good too. Make sure you finish with a 3/4 finish. From launch, you're not taking any step on that front foot. And it's going to look something like this. Again, my front side is extremely important to make sure that the barrel is going forward, and it's a lot easier for me to stop working down and across, yanking with the lower back, just going like this, just because I'm either pushing off the ground, spinning off the ground. So if you ever feel like you're working down and across and hitting so many balls into the pull side when top spin with weak contacts, the most important thing that I want you to take away from this is, like, if I was you, I would start just by stabilizing my lower half and making sure that when I use the ground to leverage, it's gonna make the jab a lot easier to my upper half just to follow, and then make sure that after I stabilize my lower half, that I work with the right posture with the way how I position my body to be able to create the angles that I need to hit the ball from the inside, create backspin, and have enough space for my hands, especially when I get into my launch position. You know, I like to work with, or the rule of thumb that I often talk to my players is try to feel like your bottom, that your glutes are behind of your heels like this, your hands are somewhere close from the back foot, you're not the knob of the body facing at the catcher feet, and when you're about to swing, you have enough room to take that top hand inside of a ball here, right? Some guys think like that back elbow is going to get into the rib cage and work super tight against their body. That's also a bad thing. You don't want to start pushing your hands out because that's a bad thing too. But you also don't want to work against that rib cage working and trying to do this, because then now you're going to be so handsy and you don't want to be able to hit the ball hard. You need to have some sort of like space back here, and that only is going to happen when you're working that hinge here on your hips and you feel like you have enough space, especially when the inside pitch you can get to it, going here and staying through it, instead of having that posture that most of you guys, I see that you guys are upright and just working like this, pretty much creating that direction with your shoulders going down and across and hitting the ball into the bullseye. Another thing to keep aware too is that I often see guys when they load, they think that when they load they have to pull the hands going back and behind of their body like that. So they have to go out and go in to be able to hit the ball, which that's another reason too. While when you pulling out the ball, you don't have enough space because you don't create the good angles when you load. That's another topic that we can talk about later. But the rule of thumb of a easy and a quick fix for that is to make sure that you use that white line in between the plate. That when you load, try to create the way how you pull your hands back and maintain your hands over the back, over that white line from here, and you have in a straight angle to attack that ball straight to the ball. From it doesn't really matter from where you start, but when you lunge, you're somewhere around here when your hands above that white line, instead of just going all the way back like this, or even closing way too much with your shoulders. Again, there's a few reasons why guys work like that. I'm just telling you one of the main ones that I often see with guys who I work with in high school and college. If you're watching this video, you need a system and a program to follow and make sure that it's going specifically for your needs, specifically for your situation. If you're trying to play in college, if you're trying to find some sort of consistency and have a professional guidance to know that what you're doing is going toward the thing that you really need, toward the thing that want to make the most impact in your game now. We can just discuss like what is going to be your number one struggle, what's going to be the game plan, and my suggestions of like what you should do in order for you to find your goals. My name is Carlos Garcia, and remember, I make the errors and you make the plays.